So I don't know if I'm really upset or really glad that I didn't do a bunch of drugs because this movie was trippy as balls. But yeah, so little background. I know jack shit about Doctor Strange. I think I saw the animated movie on like late night TV, bits and pieces of it. It was like, yeah, he's a wizard, magic, yada yada. So it was actually really funny. I saw it with my family, and normally they're like, oh, who's the Falcon or who's Vision or Scarlet Witch, and I'm always like, oh, they do this and this, and they're like, who's Doctor Strange? He's Harry Potter with a goatee. So I didn't know jack shit about this movie. Went in more or less totally blind. Didn't watch a lot of the trailers. And it's trippy. I had to see it in normal 3D just because of schedule. But or sorry, excuse me. I saw it normal without the 3D, but I'm kind of wishing I don't know if I regret it or don't, because just the flat 2D like normal was trippy as balls. I can't imagine that whole movie in 3D with like the turning like I don't even know what to describe it, like the turning buildings and like the crazy colors and the effects, and it's like the best way to describe it is it's like the scene at the end of Ant-Man where he goes into the microverse. Take that scene, put it on crack, dry it out, splash a little bit of LSD on it, dry it out again, and then stretch that out for like an hour and a half. So, the one I didn't, because I really don't care about Doctor Strange, so I didn't read a lot of reviews. I heard it was decent, people were enjoying it, yada yada. And the big complaint I heard is it's just kind of, oh, it's another origin story, and that it is. It's very much like the first Iron Man kind of, but it just really streams rolls past all that, because like obviously the first Iron Man, they spent a lot of time establishing him, setting up who Tony Stark is before the suit, and in him making the suit. Here is like the first 10 minutes he's already established he's a dick doctor, his hands get crushed, he's looking for, and then he's on his way trying to find magic. I was really surprised how fast the movie. I was like, oh geez, you're not gonna, and which I will get into later. But the big problem with that is obviously that he has this relationship, whatever Marvel likes to call these now, with Rachel McAdams, where it's just like, oh, they're a thing, and then he goes and you don't see her for the rest of the movie, which in terms of the story makes total sense. Like, he's given up everything he has to go to the Dubai or Nepal, wherever it was, to find this like spiritual teacher, get his hands back, and then he just gets swept into the whole magic thing. So obviously he gets distracted, and that's why he doesn't talk to her, yada yada. My big thing watching the whole movie was like, okay, I get this relationship thing, they had a past or whatever, and they're like, those like asshole exes were like, God, you were a piece of shit. Man, remember how you would always just like never come home and I'd have to make dinners by myself? Well, maybe if you weren't a bitch and you didn't put out as much, or you did put out, I don't know, maybe our relationship isn't very clear. But so they have that bantery relationship, and it's like, okay, cool, I believe that, that's fine. I wasn't ever like, I don't see them as a couple. That was fine, but it was just like, I got to this point like early on in the movie where I'm like, okay, they're not a couple because he's left for Shambhala or where the hell it is, and then she's not in the movie for much more after that. I'm like, huh. I'm just like, did like Kevin Feige's girlfriend or fiance or whatever break up with him? Because like these in Phase 3 or whatever we're in right now, like there's no Pepper Potts in Civil War, there's no Natalie Portman in Thor: The Dark World. The rumor is in the next one, time loops. In Thor Ragnarok, she's supposedly not going to be it. So no Pepper Potts, no Jane Foster. Hawkeye's wife was, a thing apparently, but I'm pretty sure we'll never see her again. It's not going to be like, oh man, Infinity War, an opening shot, and it's panning in on Hawkeye's farm, and his wife is dead because Thanos ran over her with a tractor. So I just find it very interesting that as these films have gone on, they start out very simple, like, hey, these are just dudes with superpowers, and then like now we're getting into these things about the ethics of being a superhero, what does it mean for the world, how do you relate to other people, lineage, all that other stuff. But then when it gets to this relationship aspect, it's like, no, superheroes don't have girlfriends, they don't have wives, because that's boring. And I know that's the whole thing with Spider-Man, where it's like he can't be married and have a job and because it's like Peter Parker's gonna be a struggling, college student, like he's struggling with the ladies, and like that's kind of unrealistic. My favorite part of Amazing Spider-Man was the fact that they had these was Emma Stone and James Garfield's relationship. So the fact that you see how they played off each other, the fact that Emma Stone as Gwen Stacy wasn't just the damsel in distress. She like actually helped, and she was like she like didn't listen to Peter. Like she just kind of did her own thing, and they kind of just worked together as a team. And then Green Goblin literally showed the fuck out of nowhere and ruined that last movie in the last like 60 seconds. But that's for another whole rant. But no, my point is, so I enjoyed their relationship. It was just like, that's it. Oh, okay, I enjoyed it for all it was just like, again, like I get the point that he liked her or whatever, and then near the opening movie he like says like you're a waste, or our relationships are waste, or I'm more important than you, yada yada. I understand that. That's to show that he's arrogant, that he doesn't care about anybody but himself, that he just loves himself and not her. That's fine. It's just like, please, in phase 4 or wherever the fuck these next 5-6 movies are, give someone a goddamn girlfriend. Like, let them be happy. Like, the only other thing in the future is like going to be Ant-Man and the Wasp, and even then I don't think they're really going to be that like chummy. Also, I love the fact that half this review has just been talking about future movies. But that's how Marvel does it now. Like it's like, oh, that was great. All right, what's next? No, but yeah. So he goes, does the magic thing, and the opening is very. I do like the fact that because this was quote unquote magic, and it would have been very easy to just go, it's science. It's science you don't understand yet. But like they were doing stuff that was just like, no, that's crazy. That's just magic, and the fact that, like I said, it's very trippy, like LSD, like crazy imagery and all this stuff, and well, that was great. So I didn't have a problem with the magic. I guess my only complaint is it didn't really feel that different. It just felt like he was going like it didn't. With Harry Potter, I know this is really hard to like explain, but I guess with Harry Potter, at least the way I interpret it is that basically they use their energy in their body. They use the energy in their body and they like transfer that out into the material world. So, if someone has a wand, they go like, and then like the energy passes like through your body, out your wand, and becomes the green spark. That's how like stuff flies, yada yada. Here it was just like I think she said something along the lines of like, oh, sorcerers just like hack the source code of the universe, and that's really what it is. He's just like, it's like it just looks like he's like kind of doing like the future like touch screen, just like to bring it up on screen. Okay, and then boom. Yeah, like how Iron Man made his suit. It just looks like that as opposed to actual magic. Like I don't think he says any actual spells, and then there's this stuff like the magical items where they're just like, oh, the item chooses you. I'm like, so is it alive or nope? You're not gonna explain that. Okay, items choose you. Got it, magic. And speaking of the item, there was the cape. Again, I don't know jack shit, so I might be like translating all over. Okay, first off, the cape is a thing apparently. Like it had its own personality. It was like had its own mind. It attacked. It killed a guy. And it was very funny and silly. Where like he was trying to go for the axe, and the cape was like, and he's like jerking him and like trying to pull him the other direction. And that's the other thing. I was pleasantly surprised. Bar none, besides maybe Daredevil or Deadpool. Daredevil is such a Daredevil is such a great funny movie. For a second, it's like, is it Deadpool or Daredevil? Anyway, my point is, excluding Deadpool, which is obviously first and foremost a comedy, this is probably the funniest Marvel movie. There's the quippy banter between him and Rachel McAdams, and him and the other one, and like he's like an asshole Tony Stark, which is very kind of hard to think about, seeing how Tony Stark is already kind of an asshole. But the fact that he's just very like dry and witty, he's just like, oh, I think I know everything. I'm better than everyone. Also, he's got a house accent. I understand he's British. I just found that very funny. Like, I understand it's his American accent. I just found it funny that not only was he a Brit playing an American, he was a Brit playing an American who was a doctor who literally had the same voice. Like, the entire time in those medical scenes, I'm like, did you just like steal Hugh Laurie's voice, like the Little Mermaid? And you just like, but yeah, he's just like, yes, pass me. That was Hugo Weaving. I can't do accents, but he sounds very much like House and Stuart Little's dad. I can't remember. Hugh Laurie, that's it, dude. Funny dude. Loves his meatloaf, according to Stuart Little. But yeah, he professionalism. The he's very funny and witty, and he's just like, hey, they're like, hey, how do you know these advanced spells? So it's like, I read them. It's like, these would take the average person hundreds of thousands of years. Really? It's like, I did that in like 10 minutes. Not even. I'm like, I'm surprised how much of a, despite the fact that he is a dick, also the fact that, from my understanding, he's kind of this like, maybe it's just a goatee, but he's like this dignified, like, posh magician. In the comics here, he's kind of like a dick. He's always laughing at people, making fun of them. He's going like with the bad guy. He's like, "What's going on with your eyes? You look like a goth kid at a Christmas party or something." I don't know, but it's a really funny movie. There's really funny lines. Yeah, and like the fact that when the Ancient One like tries to get him to use his like warp powers, she like traps him on Mount Everest, and the advisor was like, "Hey, are you going to? I should go get him. He's going to fuck up. He's not going to do it." She's like, "No, wait. He's gonna Yeah, he should probably. Oh, there he is. Okay, see, I knew everything. I was totally in charge. But yeah, so it's really funny. I laughed a lot of times. There's like just I can't, there's a whole bunch of scenes. I'm just trying to think of some off the top of my head. Like the scene where he basically reunites with Rachel McAdams, and the first thing he says after being gone for like months is like, "Hey, I'm a ghost, yada yada. I'm out of my body. I gotta go fight a guy. Just don't let me die." And she's like, "Oh, okay." And I thought Rachel McAdams did very well with what she was given. Again, she wasn't given a lot. She had to be like the supportive girlfriend who doesn't understand what's going on, but accepts. And then at the end, she was, I don't remember what happened, but they were just like, "Yeah, we're not gonna be together." And he was like, "Oh, sucks." And I was like, whatever, because apparently relationships are dumb. But overall, it's yeah, I thought it was it's really great. Despite the fact that I've seen it like 2 weeks late at this point, I still thought it was a great movie. I guess like the problem a lot of people have said is that, like, yes, it's like an origin movie, but like I said, my big problem was that it rushed that origin part. Like, so like I said, comparing it again to Iron Man, that first like half an hour, 45 minutes of him. So the prequel beforehand where he's testing the weapons, and then the flashback to him as a conference, and then him at the history of Tony Stark, and then him in the cave, and then coming back home and getting readjusted, and then making Iron Man. That they let that whole half an hour, 45 minutes of Iron Man, whatever that was, they kind of condensed that into like 10, 15 minutes in Doctor Strange, which is good because it leaves the rest of the movie about the magic and setting up the sorcerers, and also the. Again, I don't know comics, but apparently the Ancient One was the Sorcerer Supreme, but I'm like, isn't Doctor Strange the Sorcerer Supreme? And then obviously, spoilers, he dies at the end, but but there are other like people, like he's just kind of a student, so like does he just go, "Yeah, fuck it, I'm Sorcerer Supreme now. I'm the one who killed her. I saw her die." So like it's like I just find it, again, as a comic person, I don't know like how that works. Like also as a comic person, they were saying there's like the New York Phantom, which I knew, the London one, which I'm like, okay, that's a throwback to Thor or whatever, and then the Hong Kong one, which I was like, okay, but I'm like, wait, isn't there just the one in New York? And again, I don't know the nitty gritties of Doctor Strange. It could be like a horrible adaptation and all that yada yada. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I thought it was really funny, super funny, great visual, like jaw drop. Like again, I'm kind of tempted to go back and see it in 3D. Like I'm really like a stickler. I'm like, whatever, just the cheapest and the earliest time I can get. But I'm kind of like, man, I kind of want to go see it in like the 3D IMAX with the, the D box with like the shaking sheets and the surround sound, and I'm just like, just get super high or do a bunch of like NyQuil and just go like, just throw up everywhere. But yeah, I thought it was a great movie. It was definitely fun. I guess it's in the middle. It is. Again, it's a superhero movie. If you don't like these type of movies, it's less. The thing I was telling people going into it, they're like, oh, so what's Doctor Strange? It's like, he's a wizard. He's a wizard. He's a wizard. And again, they do magic, but it's not like Harry Potter magic or Lord of the Rings magic or traditional fantasy magic. It's more kind of just superhero magic, which is fine. It fits totally with the canon of everything else. It doesn't feel like this weird like, because obviously that was the big concern going in, like, oh, how are they going to introduce magic to the Marvel, like, MCU? And it's kind of like, yeah, it's kind of like the whole, going back to Ant-Man, the whole like sub dimension that like Michael Douglas's wife is like stuck in, like it Hope or Janet or whatever her name was, the mom. It's kind of like that. It's like, well, yeah, that's there, but it's just this tiny little thing off to the side. Or kind of like Guardians. Like, we know at some point Guardians is going to connect to Avengers and Infinity War and all that yada yada. But like, if you look at, let's just say, like Iron Man 2 and Guardians, you're gonna go like, how do these two films like ever connect? And the honest answer is probably just gonna be like, they don't. That's over here and that's over here, and like, you don't have to like bring everything together. There's this they can be separate and own independent things, but still exist in the same place, and that's awesome. And speaking of that, which I just thought of, which I absolutely can't believe I almost ended without saying, that end scene. I have not seen Thor 2, so I'm gonna have to go rewatch it. And this end scene actually made me excited to go rewatch Thor 2, which I did enjoy. I thought it was better than the first one. It was actually, that was also another funny movie. I'm like, this movie is really funny. Why is it this damn funny? But it was just that Doctor Strange was talking to Thor, and then see, this is where I got confused. So at the end of Thor, he gave up his prince position or whatever to be with Jane Foster. He moved in her apartment, yada yada. And Loki, like, disguised himself as Odin. I remember that, but I'm like, I forget how Odin got, like, what happened, if he's, like, dead or hidden or whatever. But I know Loki's in charge, posing as Odin. My big thing is just, like, apparently Loki and Thor are looking for Odin. I'm just like, wait, so, but where is Loki taking Thor? And, like, Thor was like, Loki was like, oh, cool, Thor's given up, I'm in charge. My mom's Frida's dead, like, I'm in charge, nobody else is gonna oppose me, I can be the king of Asgard, awesome. So I was like, well, that's gonna, it was like, so wait, so what are they looking, anyway, the point is, Doctor Strange said, hey, I'll help you find your dad or whatever, which is super exciting because, again, just speaking gibberish, speaking news releases, we already know that in Spider-Man Homecoming, that's gonna have Iron Man, and that's gonna be awesome, but the fact that Thor Ragnarok, we already know he's going to have the Hulk. So the fact that it's going to have like Hulk, Thor, and potentially Doctor Strange. I don't think it's going to be the whole movie. It's probably just going to be like a quick, the opening shot of the movie where Doctor Strange is like, all right, here. He's going to he just goes, hey, I opened this portal to this dimension. This is where your dad supposedly is. You guys are on your own, and yada yada, like that. So, but the fact that we're gonna have 3 superhero movies just in Thor, not like Civil War, not some big crossover thing, just the fact that we're gonna have all these superheroes in Thor 3 is awesome. So that's me really excited, really anticipated to see what next. The other end credits was nothing. It was just him, the mentor to Doctor Strange, just going like, my whole existence was a lie. Gonna go evil, where it's just like, yeah, I mean, that's cliche, it's an easy thing to do, but yeah, whatever, I don't blame you. But yeah, so overall, I think I enjoyed it. It was great, it was fun. It is still a million times better than Suicide Squad, but staring at a blank wall would. So yes, I enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time. I'm gonna close the video.